Okay, user Chok or Chok, I don't know how to best pronounced, made Night Cooking for Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. I've got free versions of the stage for release here. I'm going to talk about the Spider Man version of the stage first, though, because that's how it originally was. Okay, so if you bring Spider Man to the stage in the source game, it changes the background. And what it mainly thing it does here is it replaces Peter Parker with J. Jonah Jameson, like throwing a shit fit over here. Um, so in the original version of the stage, there was quite a few things missing. First off, this TV with the flashing monitor or whatever, that was missing completely, even though the sprites for it were in the file. So the TV's back. This sign back here, which I think is supposed to say on air, it wasn't blinking. It's supposed to be blinking, so I restored it so it's blinking now. This booth up here above, like up in the distance, it was supposed to be blinking, so I restored that animation. Same thing goes with this red light that's behind the crane. And speaking of the crane, it also was missing. Like it moves up and down after a set period of time, and that wasn't there at all. I restored that animation as well. And speaking of the J Jonah animation here, like he was missing some frames, like where he sticks the cigar straight up, and when his hand was stretched all the way out. Those were both missing, and also his head and his arm are two separate animations, and so we were missing quite a bit there. Like you're supposed to be able to see, I guess, like every combination of his face and of his arm movement. So I split that into two animations, so that would be restored into it as it was intended in the original source. I repaleted everything. I took a bunch of discolorations out, though some of them were in places where you could barely see them, but I still did take them out. I checked the animation timings on everything, trying to make sure everything was as good as it could be. But could only guess at like the crane because it was very hard getting those crane sprites or watching it because you'd have to like jump or super jump in game to like yeah. So it would probably been damn near impossible to get perfect timing on the crane, but everything else should be pretty spot on as far as animation timings go. Okay, and so we have the normal version where if you don't bring Spider-Man to the stage, you get Peter Parker in the background instead. And then like after a bit, he like, has spider sense goes off and then he goes into this animation where he just looks back and forth. I tried to time it so you had enough time to watch your like intros in the stage. Yeah, so like I tried to time it so like you could watch your intro go off and still have time to see him do his startup. So like fight went off, just enough time to come over here and see Spider-Man or Peter Parker react. Okay, so those are the two main versions. I also included a empty after hours version. I probably wouldn't have done this if Tiger Boy didn't say that he really liked the other night version of this. But yeah, so we had this like empty alt as well. I'm not too happy with how the ceiling turned out, but I enjoy it regardless, I guess. That's all.